I think it's he's got two options. He can either sit on the bench or not make it to the squad and rot until the summer when we sell him, or he can knuckle down, get his head down and try and win the fans back round. That's what I think he should do, but I guess it's up to Peter to see what he does.
Peter Odemwingie making a bit of a nuisance of himself in the eyes of the West Brom fans, but one player who isn't making a nuisance of himself is in fact the adoration of all football fans worldwide, David Bloody Beckham.
What a hero he is. I mean, he's gone to Paris Saint-Germain. It's only, is it 5 months? 5 month loan?
6 month loan deal, yeah. And he's donating, of course, all his wages, which isn't, it's not a small amount of money, to children's charities. So
it's there we have a professional who just is a pure love of the game. He's not after the money, which after most of what we've seen during the transfer window, you could say a lot of it is about the money, which is a part of the modern game these days. But David Beckham, that kind of thing really shows that someone who has a genuine love for the game and wants to play.
And is he there to do a job in particular, or is he there merely to service the team if required?
Well, I think you've got to look at the experience of David Beckham. He could drop into any team, and that kind of high-level experience is that he's played in the best stage in the world. He's played at the World Cup, he's played for he's won the Champions League, the whole thing. He's played every single level, and you drop him into a squad, he's going to provide that experience that maybe some of the younger players will at least look up to, which can influence the play.
David Beckham making a move to PSG. Apparently, Becks and his family can still live in the UK, but he's just going to commute over to Paris for the games. It's all
right for some. All right for some, that isn't it?
Yeah, having a house and there and everywhere. Balotelli, leaving the Premier League. We're going to be sad to see him go because of all the off-field antics. Is it safe to say he fully never, he didn't quite realise that potential in front of goal for City?
I think it is. I think with Balotelli, he was always a nearly there player. You saw flashes of brilliance, but you never really saw the full thing. And you see a flash of brilliance which would then be marred by something else, that a tantrum or something that you throw on the field. And it was always a shame. He had such great potential, but he never really fulfilled it in Man City.
And of course that pitch-side bust-up with Mancini in training, you don't see that too often, do you?
No, and it can't help the morale of the team. I mean, if you think about it, the whole squad, it's kind of the focus is always on Mario, which it's got to be distracting, and you could say, maybe that's why I haven't done so well this season.
Moving on to a front man, Demba Ba made his move to Chelsea from Newcastle. Fell out of favour a little bit towards his time at the end of Newcastle. But Newcastle reinvigorated their side with a host of French players, didn't they?
I think Newcastle have spent very well. I think out of all the teams we've seen so far, I think Newcastle have the most successful transfer season, aside from maybe Liverpool, but we'll move on to that later on. And I think from watching the game, you saw all of those players.
Referring to the game against Chelsea.
Against Chelsea, yes. The players that were playing, they were efficient, they played well, they just seemed to slot seamlessly into the team, and I've got to say that I was quite impressed with Newcastle in that game. I mean, it's really pulling off a 3-2 win against the champions of Europe. That's no mean thing, especially since Newcastle haven't been playing very well.
A couple of players still to come back as well. You think of Hatem Ben Arfa, who's absolutely crucial to that side. Yeah, there's still room for manoeuvring in Newcastle's ranks. Daniel Sturridge, we said we'd talk about Liverpool. He's made quite a start at
a very impressive start. I think he's found his feet. I mean, I've always thought that Daniel Sturridge had a little bit of an ego problem personally, but considering the way he's playing for Liverpool at the moment, I think he's kind of justifying this kind of attitude that he has on the pitch. At Chelsea, I always felt that he kind of strutted around a bit like he was something else, but he wasn't really backing it up with footballing talent. However, now at Liverpool, I think every game he's played in, he's made a difference. He's scored goals. He's looking very sharp.
And there's, a lot of people are saying that it's his last time to prove himself at a big club. He's already been at City and at Chelsea. Is this his last chance to sort of, hey, I'm a really good player, consider me now?
Well, I think so. I think because the thing, like I said, he's been at City, he's been at Chelsea, but he never really fulfilled that potential there. He was sort of a very sort of, he'd come on, he maybe scored a decent goal. I think the best he played was when he was on loan at Bolton. He played brilliantly when he was at loan at Bolton, came back to Chelsea and then was kind of hit and miss, not really there. But at Liverpool so far, he's proving that he has got the talent to play for a big club, and he's doing well.
And I suppose something he's relishing is that he's being played up top with Luis Suarez, something he didn't quite enjoy at either City or Chelsea.
No, yeah, and I think the Suarez-Sturridge partnership is proving to be a very efficient and very deadly partnership. You look at any of the games that we've seen those two partner up in, they link up well, they're playing off each other. Kind of the energy that they both have and a real drive to win is really present.
On deadline day, it was rumoured that Andy Carroll might make a permanent move to West Ham, possibly in the summer,
Yeah.
for just as little as £3 million. That is a massive outlay. That
It's
is.
a £32 million loss on Liverpool's behalf. Let's be honest, Andy Carroll was never a £35 million player. Maybe 10 at a push, but even then I think you're being generous. I think Liverpool have spent madly in transfer windows in the past. It seems they have got it right this time. Andy Carroll at West Ham, he seems to be doing better than he did at Liverpool. I mean, he started first game since November at the weekend, and he scored. So maybe he's turning things around.
We'll see. His England career, do you think he's got ahead of him?
Well, I think he's got a reasonable in the correct area. I mean, if we look at England's sort of formation in the past, we got like the big target man like Peter Crouch, who's now Peter Crouch is no longer playing for England. So Andy Carroll can play well. He's a big physical player. He did well in the World Cup and the Euros. Sorry, I think he was one of the better players. I mean, especially against Sweden. I think everyone remembers that header that he did. It was really good.
Well, my thanks to Fred for joining me on this transfer special of Sideline. See you soon.
Welcome back to the Wednesday show. I'm sure you are loving it just as much as we are. We're having a... Yeah! Love the cheer. We are live here from LSTV Studios. We've got our brand new anchor here for the week, Zara. How are you finding it so far?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Still a bit nervous. This is just my second link.
Oh, it's true. I mean, but there's no need to be nervous. I think we can all agree you're doing a great job. Can we agree with that?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fantastic. Well, that was Sideline, keeping you up to date with all the sporting stuff going on in and around Leeds, your union, and so on and so forth. We were talking about the Super Bowl beforehand, and as you know, we are both colonialists in a sense. I'm from Australia.
I'm from India.
It's fantastic. Do you follow cricket?
Oh yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's a religion in India. You have to watch cricket.
It's true. Same in Australia. Unfortunately, we haven't been great at it the past couple of years, but
Ashes, woo!
the Ashes is coming up in July, so if you're interested in getting involved with cricket, just join the team in Australia. We're taking applications. But yes, we actually did beat India last time we played.
Oh yeah, I
Fun
know.
little fact for you.
India's not particularly great at cricket either.
Whoa.
Not particularly great.
Yeah, you did. You kind of did win the World Cup.
T20.
T20. That's true. I mean, yeah, we've got the stat charter out here telling us what's going on. I love it. It's awesome. Coming up in the show later on, we have
Simon Cardy's own production, The Studio. It's a comedy.
It's a comedy, yeah. It's going to be hilarious.
We're really looking forward to it, obviously.
I've seen snippets of it, and it is fantastic. And on the subject of sitcoms, what's your favourite sitcom?
Oh, I'm very embarrassed to admit this, but it's Vampire Diaries.
Is that really a sitcom? That's more of a drama.
It is for me. It's for me. No, it's.
I will not repeat
you can take
what people
it
think
in
of
like
that.
drama, but you can take it as I do, as funny. I like it.
What? Because it's just so bad. The audience is getting very rowdy
Audience
back
is cracking
there.
up.
They're loving the puns back there. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so my favourite sitcom, if I had to name one, would be The Office.
Ooh, I do like that one.
And Cardi's done it's in a very similar style to The Office, which you'll all enjoy. I'm anticipating it. You're anticipating it.
Very much so. Very much.
So yeah, on the subject of vampires, you're not one of those Twilight fans, are you?
Not the Twilight ones, but I am the Damon Salvatore ones.
I don't even know who that is.
But that's okay. It's girl talk. The women out there know what I'm talking about.
You don't? Okay, I hope so, because otherwise, vampires, yeah.
Yeah, it's like sports for me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You're not into sports?
No, I'm into vampires.
Yeah, that's just sports, vampires. You know, that's the same thing.
No.
Fantastic. Well, coming up in about 15 seconds, we have the launch of the sitcom, which we are giving such great justice to. Watch the clips. It's fantastic. And it is time to unveil it to you all at home.
Keep
Stay
watching.
tuned.
Are we on? I think we do a great service for the country. I mean, parents would find their household a much more hectic place if it went through us and after school dance club.
Never rushing to work. No, make sure I'm always a little bit late, that way. Get in, crew sees me, big smiles on their faces. Just what they're after, you see. So, all goes well, hopefully. There we go. Good morning.
Fuck off.
This little joke thing we've got going on between us. So.
But yeah, ultimately, I do see myself as a bit of an energy booster, really. You know, everyone's morning coffee, yeah. Especially since the machine broke down the hall.
Yeah, I'd liken my crew to kernels of corn in a little bag. And then when that red light goes on, yeah, the heat's turned up, and popcorn television is made. And all I need to do is basically give it a bit of flavouring, keep it running smooth, you know, like hot butter.
So yeah, you know, hopefully you can come in, get an insight into the working environment, see us all in our natural, you know, natural personalities, not like fake stuff, like not like we're reading off the scripts or anything, something stupid like that. So yeah.
Script later.
Right, to prove a point, read a script for you. Now, kids, place a ball in each hand. Place your balls in each hand.
Yeah, juggling. We'll just teach them how to juggle, that was all.
Here's the studio.
And after you pulled it out, I couldn't walk for days. Piece of glass in my foot.
Well, on camera, here we have our three musketeers. First up, we have
Barney.
Barney
Ben.
and
Simon. I've told you a few times.
was it? Oh, he's on camera, man. Sorry, my mistake. Oops.
It's not my fault they're not French. It's not. But what you lose in comic value, you know, you gain a good solid work ethic.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Put your balls away. No, I am all about having fun in games, but health and safety first, yeah? Get them out of here. Ah! Yeah!
Yeah, mate.
Oh, Ben.
Just. I didn't actually touch him this time.
Still your fault though, isn't it?
I didn't touch this time.
It's always you.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, he's gone to hospital. No need to panic though. We'll get a replacement. Mark my words.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Always is. Always. Apart from that time with the snake. Gosh. We had a lot of angry parents about that one.
So yeah, well, you know, you could only drink Kumbongo in the Congo. So yeah. Anyway, come on in. This is my domain. Yeah, all the magic happens. Yeah, I'm like the ringleader, and these are all my circus freaks. Here's the first clown, you know, receiving a cream pie. Not literally, of course, or in any other sense. Well, it's totally unprofessional to get with colleagues, isn't it? So
I don't think there's any danger of that.
Well, Liz, you never know. So
Right.
you never know.
Never happening.
Anyway, this is the lovely Liz, our very own Billy Elliot, you know, if he was a girl. And their dream didn't actually come true.
Yeah, I always wanted to be a dancer when I was little, took tons of ballet and tap lessons, just never really took off. And now look at me, I find myself at the other end of the camera. It's horrible. The constant tap of computer keys just acts as if it's just taunt.
Next up in the asylum, we've got our resident blind vision mixer, Ryan. Oh, he has to rely heavily on my voice. Yeah, he really does. It's a good job, really, because I'm such an experienced professional.
Oh, it does my head in. I'd rather have my dog bark instructions at me all day. But I get enough of that at the zebra crossing on the way to work.
He's obviously never read a joke book, but Sometimes I think it's funnier than me. Oi, Ryan, caught any good books to read recently?
Not quite. Had some just at the end of my fingertips, though.
Guess we have it. You get it because of the bump, like the bumpy bits and that. What a nutter.
Yeah, I think it's fine to call him a nutter. I mean, it wouldn't be any worse than me doing this, you know, behind him. Or in front of him. Come to think of it.
Last but not least, we have our very own mystery man in the corner over here. Goes by the name of One Thumb Jack. And for this reason. Hi, Jack. Never says a word. Been here for 2 years now. He's never said a word. I think he's a little shy, to be honest. But then again, he's probably scared of my authoritarian presence. Yeah.
He's a tosser. I can't stand him. I think I talked to him once and I almost put his head through a fucking monitor. So now I just do this. And I've got a homemade twat deterrent.
So yeah, at the moment we've got deaf, blind, all we need is dumb.
So yeah, just looks like a pretty routine episode, really.
Yeah, good. Okay, you get those photocopied, and then it is go time.
Ed, quick word, please.
2 minutes. What be 2 minutes?
Right now, Ed. Right now. Can't wait.
Just finish this off with Liz.
Ed, right now you're going to lose an eye.
Ed may act like he runs the show, but as soon as Martin, the producer, walks in, he becomes this small.
You're as fucking useless as a baker without bread, aren't you, you little shit? Like Alan Titchmarsh with that fucking trowel. Why didn't you tell me about the accident earlier?
I thought you knew.
You thought I knew? Oh, because I've got a fucking eye of Sauron on my desk, haven't I?
Well, don't worry, because we've got replacements in there rehearsing now.
Yeah,
So
Ed. That's not the problem, is it? Do you remember Megan, our presenter? Yeah, Megan. Megan, she's Ben's fucking boyfriend. And she is with him in hospital. So that leaves us with a little bit of a...
insurance claim?
Oh, fuck you. A fucking problem. So, I mean, I guess a programme going on air in less than half an hour, that's a little bit of a problem, isn't it?
Well, stay calm.
Mate, Ed, I'm fucking calm. It's usually slightly less calm, because if this doesn't fucking work out, you're out of here and you're not working here again. You'll be fine.
Be fine. Be fine. Yeah. Always been a natural leader, really. Number sign is a 1, which is basically a leader. It's true. Check that out. Star sign's a Leo. Again, natural leader. And I'm also a great presenter. You know, I'm charismatic, funny, good looking. And it's just regrettable that, you know, I've got to stay inside the gallery. You know, I'm an important cog here, they need me. Couldn't do without me.
Liz. Hey. How are you?
Great.
Good. Remember how you wanted to be a star? Like a massive celebrity? Childhood dreams and all that? I need you to be a presenter on today's show.
What?
I need you to be a presenter on today's show.
Why can't you do it?
Because this script isn't for boys, is it? It's a girls' one.
Bloody coward.
Oh, don't forget the script. Thank you. And that is how it's done. Oh. Wait, watch this. I've got a little trick in mind. Oh, Think there's a fly in here, mate. Yeah. Liz, what's that? Good. 1 to 30 seconds. Right, guys, get your volleys out because we've got to make it through this shitstorm with our careers still intact, okay? Yeah? Yeah? Right, is everybody ready in the studio? Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Hi, and welcome to After School Dance Club with Megan. But with me, Liz. Unfortunately, Megan couldn't attend this morning because she's tending to her boyfriend who's stuck in bed.
Jesus.
So, all you gotta do is copy me, listen to the music, and have fun. So go get your dancing shoes on.
Go Grams, go Grams.
Is she good then?
What the fuck is this?
I think it's meant to be tap.
Fucking crap is what it is. Crap tap. Tap flavoured fucking crap sticks.
Maybe if I put a more upbeat track on.
Yeah, try it. Try anything, because at the moment it just looks fucking dire. Kieran fucking dire. Ed, see this? This is my massive imaginary axe. It's gonna turn into a real one if you don't fucking sort this out. Jesus Christ.
Not looking good then.
No, Ryan, not good. In fact, it's hurting my eyes. I feel like you reading a barbed wire fence, mate.
What are we going to do then?
I don't know. Rubbish. But you know what? If we're going out, let's go a bang. We need to give it some gazumph or something. Because at the moment, it's like some traumatizing pokey.
Honestly, that half hour seemed to go on forever. I was resigned to resigning, really. There was nothing I could have done. But you know what? Turns out nothing needed to be done. Loads of positive comments, loads. Honestly. All about these little kids, children, laughing, giggling for about 30 minutes, that strange woman doing us a little jig. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. One thing we've learned today in the kingdom of children's television: a one-trick pony shits all over snakes.
Well, that was fantastic. I love that.
I enjoyed that so much.
Well done, Mr. Cardi. That's his first sitcom this year, and it's phenomenal.
It's brilliant.
I love it.
Funny one-liners, great expressions, great actors.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see episode 2. I want to see how he reacts to the firing. I'm excited to see that. But before we carry on, we're going to do a big hello.
And a shout out.
Yeah, to Lacey, I believe, who's who was an LSTV member last year, a very prominent figure, I believe, and she's off doing better things, bigger, better things, off filming the Valleys, I believe, in Cardiff, correct? Yeah. Have you ever been to Cardiff?
I have not, but it is on my list of things to see in England.
Wales, yes.
Sorry,
UK. I would love to go to Wales. I think I've been there maybe once, and it was just fantastic. The stadium and the city, it's fantastic.
Talking about being places, next up we have Essential, the news.
Great segue, news coming up.
As always, news that matters around our union, the university and the city of Leeds.
The headlines this Wednesday.
MPs have voted in the Commons in favour of same-sex marriage by 400 to 175. That's a majority of 225. As of yesterday, though, local Lib Dem MP Greg Mulholland refused to reveal how he would vote. We'll be getting the views of the students shortly.
Also making the headlines, the LUU leadership race. Nominations closed on Friday with reportedly over 60 candidates running for a position on the student exec. We'll get their prospects from Dave Tipping.
And the Tour de France is coming to Yorkshire. The 5th of July 2014 will see Leeds host the Grand Depart, and the plans are exciting students across Leeds.
First, let's return to our top story, that the marriage bill has been approved by MPs in the Commons. David Cameron has hailed the vote as an important step forward, though 136 MPs from his party did oppose the bill.
MPs were given the free vote on the bill, meaning they weren't under any influence from the party. It means, though, that some MPs did not reveal what choice they'd been making. Local Lib Dem MP Greg Mulholland was one of those MPs, as Freddie Cook reports.
Outside Leeds Town Hall, where today supporters of LGBT have gathered to protest against the fact that the local MP, Greg Mulholland, hasn't made a decision about the gay marriage rights bill that's proposed to go through in Parliament today, heard. The weather, as you can see, is pretty awful and it has driven some of the numbers down, but those that are here are making their voices heard, and it's quite clear they just want to know where their MP stands.
We're protesting to ask Greg Mulholland to vote in favour of the equal marriage bill which is being debated today, because so far he's just ignoring calls for him to even say how he's going to vote. If he'd said, no, I'm not going to vote in favour of it, I think a lot of people would have been, against it, but at least accepted that. And he's just ignoring his constituents, not answering, people have tweeted him. I think he's had about 30 tweets asking him to vote in favour. And he's just ignoring his constituents, which, frankly, for, a representative isn't on.
And what's the plan today then?
We're just going down to the town hall. We've got a few things just to kind of, build a bit of public awareness to it, to show that, there are people living in his constituency and this is a matter they care about, and that he's just, ignoring their wishes.
Okay, so is the plan today to sort of put pressure on him to come out either sort of one way or another on this bill?
Well, I mean, as I hope he's going to vote in favour, but at the very least we're hoping that he's going to, be honest with his constituents about what he's going to vote for. I mean, I know for Lib Dems honesty isn't, their biggest trait, but we thought a lot of people think, he's a bit of a good local MP, but this seems to fly in the face of that. I mean, he's just not talking to his constituents.
Give me a quick word of what it is that you're hoping to achieve today.
So, I mean, Greg Mulholland is our local MP for the student areas. We've been asking him how he's going to vote on equal marriage. He won't tell us, and we want to get it across in the media and let people know that Greg Mulholland is not listening to his constituents. Simple.
Okay, and is today a sort of hope to sort of put pressure on him to sort of give his opinion more than anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a very difficult question to ask. Our MP, are you going to be voting for equal marriage, yes or no? Can you not just answer that? Why? Why is it so difficult? I mean, we've had over 100 people tweeting him and retweets and stuff on Twitter saying, "Come on, Greg, what's your opinion on this?" In the last 24 hours, he's just blank ignoring us. He's on Twitter, but he's not doing anything about it. We've rang his office. They said it's up to him and what he does, and that's about it, really. There's no answers.
So it seems that members of this constituent are just after one thing, an answer from Greg Mulholland whether it's yes or no on equal marriage. Although the sleet is driving, the rainbow flag is flying. This is Fred Cook reporting for The Essential.
The results of last night's Commons vote now tell us that Greg Mulholland appears not to have voted. There were 5 registered absentees, but Mr. Mulholland was not one of them.
Now, next up, last Friday saw the closing of the union exec nominations. 6 execs run our union each year, every year, leading the body of 30,000 students even. So what's the election process all about, and what can we expect over the coming weeks? Dave Tipping is here to tell us more.
Thank you, Kerry. Well, over the next few weeks, you'll be seeing posters going up all around the union. People have been nominating their friends and themselves since middle of November, and nominations closed on Friday. We'll be finding out who exactly is running for what position tomorrow. But what exactly does each position entail? Here's a little bit more. The posters have started appearing around the union, and flyers will no doubt be following soon. Promotional videos are being commissioned, and with an interesting standard set last year, it'll certainly be an LUU leadership race to remember. So what exactly is the leadership race? Well, put simply, it's Leeds University Union's annual election to decide who will run your union. There's 6 positions available on the student exec, and the race also sees the appointment of the Leeds student newspaper editor for next year. So let's take a little bit of a more in-depth look as to what each position involves. First up, it's Activities Officer, this year held by Ed Elliott. The role is all about union societies, sports clubs, and the opportunities made available to you as a Leeds University student, making sure those opportunities are the best ones possible. Next, it's the Community Officer, a position that Ben Fisher has held for the last 2 years. The role is all about your local life and safety in Leeds, whether it be housing, local crime reduction or transport issues. The community officer will lobby local authorities and the university to make sure you enjoy living in Leeds. Education's next, and is currently held by Josh Smith. Simply, this role does what it says on the tin. It's all about your education at the University of Leeds. If you're not happy with your course, the way exams are ran, or something else to do with libraries or learning, the education officer is there to help. The role of Equality and Diversity Officer is currently held by Charlie Hopper. The role expects the officer to make sure everybody at the uni is treated fairly and equally. The Equality and Diversity Officer will ensure services are available for everyone of all abilities, making sure that you get the experience you want at Leeds. Union Affairs is next, as ran by Ant Hadley this year. The Union Affairs Officer makes sure that what the university is doing is what students want. They can hold staff to account, make sure money is being spent properly, and ensure students' views are represented accurately across the union. Finally, it's Welfare, a position held by Katie Siddall at the moment. As the name suggests, it's all about health and well-being in Leeds, and listening to your concerns about uni life to keep you as happy as possible. Away from the exec, however, the leadership race also sees the Leeds student editor election, which is also a full-time paid role at LUU. After the arguable Nick Griffin interview controversy of the past year, there'll be some keen eyes watching this vote to decide who will be responsible for the running of the union's oldest and most established media society. So that's what you can expect from each of the roles. However, what exactly is going to be happening over the next few weeks? Well, candidates are going to be revealed tomorrow from about 4 p.m. And on the 27th of February, Wednesday the 27th, we'll be doing our annual LUU question time, The Essential and LSTV will be covering that. Voting opens on the 4th of March but closes on Thursday the 7th, so make sure you get your votes in quickly, and the announcement is on Friday the 8th. And we'll be covering everything as it happens here on The Essential.
Thanks for that, Dave. Yorkshire is to play host to the next Tour de France in... What the... Nice one, Instal. Seamless transitions here at LSTV.
Top dollar.
Who said the news wasn't fun? Okay, Yorkshire is to play host to the next Tour de France in the summer of 2014. There's been a lot of build-up already, and Leeds locals and students alike are looking forward to the grand depart in central Leeds. Sophie Snelling has more.
Yorkshire will be the proud host of the first 2 stages of the Tour de France next year, beating cities such as Venice, Barcelona, Berlin and Edinburgh. It will be the first time the tour has reached the north of England, previously only visiting the south and the capital.
In July 2014, the cyclists will travel 390 kilometres for 2 whole days through Yorkshire. Stage 1 will start at Leeds, where the competitors will travel through the north of Yorkshire via Hawes and end in Harrogate. The second stage will begin in York, travelling through the west part of the country, through Huddersfield, and finally finishing in Sheffield.
Over 3 million people watch the tour every year, and this will give Yorkshire a moment to shine and show the world our beautiful landscapes.
I think it's very good, but I'm kind of annoyed because by the time it comes here I will have finished uni, so it's kind of after I've left. But I'm trying to be a games maker for it, and I think it's a really good opportunity for the city, really.
Really, cycling is really great to put Yorkshire on the map, isn't it, really? That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think it's great. British cycling has obviously come on leaps and bounds, so it'll be exciting to have it in Yorkshire, and hopefully it all goes well, weather's good, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Millions of people across the country will venture to Yorkshire to see the start of the tour, and the worldwide coverage will hopefully prompt people to visit us, putting Yorkshire on the map.
Thank you, Sophie. Now, if you know Leeds, you may well know that's responsible for the grassroots of many now global businesses. Marks & Spencer is just one of those businesses. It started for them as a small penny bazaar, and now 129 years on, the historical company is reopening in a store in Leeds Kirkgate Market, exactly where it all began. It could be a big help for the apparently struggling market, as Dan Maggin reports.
Since its foundation in Kirkgate Market in 1884, Marks & Spencer has always been an innovative company. The core principles of quality, value, service, innovation and trust were developed at an early date and remain at the centre of the company's business philosophy. M&S's roots have always been in the heart of Leeds, and this is displayed with pride in various exhibitions across the city. This is the Marks & Spencer's archive in Leeds, which takes you through the vast history of the innovative company, starting at the very base of its heritage at Kirkgate Market, where it shall return this spring. Long-serving members of the company are proud of its heritage, and a prime example is those working at the M&S Company archive.
Well, Leeds is where it all started for M&S. It's where the very first market stall was set up by our founder, Michael Marks. Kirkgate Market was where the first M&S stall was set up. It was actually before Michael Marks went into partnership with Tom Spencer. So at that point in our history, the famous brand name Marks & Spencer hadn't quite happened then. But it's where the first stall was situated, quite close, about 200 yards away from where the famous M&S clock in Kirkgate Market is located. So that's still there now, and it's a really good sort of way of commemorating where we began.
It's here at Kirkgate Market where M&S will be returning in March this year. As well as a traditional stall, there will also be the chance to look back at the company and all its historical culture.
People will be able to buy a range of gift merchandise, have a coffee, and at the same time start to find out a little bit about the M&S story. It's going to be just the very first point of a brand new M&S heritage trail. So people will be able to walk around Leeds city centre with a special guide leaflet, and it will point out lots of different places in Leeds and M&S history and bring people up to the archive here.
With proposed cuts currently being open to public scrutiny, there's some concern as to the sustainable future of Leeds Kirkgate Market. Many hope that bringing the Leeds loyal M&S back to the market might bring back some of its equally loyal customers too. Daniel Maggid, LSTV News.
There's been a lot happening in the world of technology this week, from hand-drying taps to house hunting apps. Freddie Cook has more.
Welcome to this week's Tech Roundup. Dyson have released a new hand-drying tap using their Airblade technology. The latest motor reportedly took 100 engineers over £26.9 billion to develop. The tap is priced at £1,000, which some feel may affect its popularity. A cheaper version of the bare-bones Raspberry Pi computer has gone on sale in Europe. The Model A lacks some of the features of the bigger version, such as a network jack, and has less memory. The Model A has also been designed to use less power to make it more suitable for projects involving robotics, remote sensors, or which rely on solar power. Cutting out a few components, however, has meant the gadget is a lot cheaper and now only costs £16. Michael Dell has said he will buy back the world's #3 PC maker that he founded and that carries his name.
Along with technology investor Silver Lake and with the financial backing from Microsoft, he will offer to buy the firm for $24.4 billion. The move will take Dell off the Nasdaq stock exchange after 25 years. Mr. Dell hopes to turn the tide for the firm that has struggled to compete with cheap Asian rivals and the boom of smartphones and tablet computers. And finally, Leeds University Union has released an app to help students find new housing. The House Hunting web app gives advice to students as well as a checklist to tick off as they look around potential homes. I've been Freddie Cook, reporting for The Essential. What a handsome young chap. Now, earlier in the programme, we discussed the LUU leadership race. So what do we think the leaders of our union should be aiming to do? Jess Todd has this week's Essential Question.
So we are asking Leeds students what they want in their exec committee.
Outgoing and fun.
Outgoing and fun.
Yeah.
And would you want anything? What would you want them to bring for next year?
Nothing big, something simple that is easy to like commit to, but like it's long term, not just like for a short moment, like when it just happened and then they just do it, but then until it doesn't last. Yeah. So
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Make your check come at the neck. Disrespect us, no they won't. What I'm even.
I don't know, that they like get things sorted out quickly, I think.
Okay, brilliant. And what sort of personalities do you look for?
Someone who's really approachable and easygoing.
Thank you very much.
Someone who looks decent, actually gets the job done.
Brilliant. Thank you.
What do you think?
Strong leadership.
Good, sort of know what the students want, working with the students closely.
So, more personal contact.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. So down on grassroots level so they know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much. And what do you want? Okay.
Same as me.
Yeah, I mean, you need people who are outgoing, you need people who can talk to, people that actually do things, you know, actually get off their asses and do something. A lot of the exec, not necessarily this year, but in other years, have got elected and just, right, you know, busybodied around and done nothing. Actions speak louder than words.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Then get back to business. Please, you better not play me. Oh, come here, baby. Hope you still like me if you pay me. My persuasion can build a nation.
I don't know.
Somebody
Gets like really involved, so a lot of people on campus something like, know who innovative. they are. Yes, something innovative rather than like I don't know. The last few years, it's just been a bit samey. As in, like what they're going to achieve and like I don't know. Yeah. Thierry. Yeah. Thank you.
Do you know what? I'm actually really happy with the union at the moment.
Okay.
So I probably wouldn't change very much.
If you were to choose like a type of person that would be in the exec committee, what type of person would that be?
Someone willing to listen.
Okay. And approachable?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you. The students of Leeds obviously want an approachable person that can deliver what they want as students and not do something too ambitious that won't get done. And that is it for this week's Essential Question.
Thank you, Jessica. It's the weather next, and then another essential first. We're cutting live to our weather girl, Emily Wilson.
Hello and welcome to the weather. This weekend it seems to be pretty mild. Today it's fairly cloudy with highs of 5 degrees and lows of 0.
Then going into tomorrow, it will be mainly dry and bright, with slightly lower temperatures of highs of 4 degrees and lows of 1 degree. And then heading towards the weekend, we've got lows of 0 and highs of 4 degrees, but it will be mainly dry. That's it for this week. Tune in next week.
Well, that is it for this week's Uber Smooth Essential. I've been Freddie, Big Guns Cook.
And I've been Kerry, Hooch.
And it will be viewable again online soon at lstv.co.uk.
I remember.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wednesday show. I just full on ripped on Zara there. She tried to welcome.
to take over. I did.
It's just I'm not having it. Not having it. That was fantastic. I'm not sure if you know, but that was live. We do that now.
Even live weather for the first time, actually. That was brilliant.
It's phenomenal. It's like no one's paying attention. It's live. It's loud in the background. I can't even hear what's going on.
Come on, audience.
Can we have a little respect?
Shame.
Exactly. So well sung there. But yes, we have a fantastic show still to come. Coming up, we have...
in other news.
That is going to be big. A lot of people here are involved with that. That's coming up in about 30 seconds.
Very excited for that. I'm just going to put that out there.
I know, and it's very, very current. Like with the whole marriage bill just happening, it's right up there.
Yeah.
Very racy, pushing the pack. I'm looking forward to it. If you can't tell, I was involved.
Well, coming up for you is in other news. Stay put and enjoy.
It's true. You are with LSTV and you don't want to be anywhere else. Welcome. In other news, Britons are starting to feel the pinch as the country remains in double-dip recession.
The French Prime Minister reacts upon hearing of French victory in Mali.
Angelina Jolie arrives home after another successful conquest in the Middle East.
Rises in the price of electricity have been described as shocking, while falls in biscuit sales have been described as crumbling.
Putin reveals what instruments doctors use in his latest colonoscopy.
Ed Balls has recently been caught disciplining Ed Miliband after he made a joke about his stutter.
And that's the news.
Liberty.
And now we go live to Andrew Seddon for his first formal address.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure you're all wondering why I've brought you here today. Well, it's with great pleasure that I announce the formation of the British Student Party. A group of like-minded young people, all of which hold vaguely unique qualities, which we're all told are widely accepted. Now, let me answer what I imagine is the question on the majority of your minds. Yes. Yes, of course. And of course, the opposite question, no. Not at all. You see, that's what makes us so appealing and interesting as a party. We have a way of instilling confidence without really saying anything at all. For example, I'm sure you're wondering where we sit on the political spectrum. Well, we don't see ourselves as a simple red or blue party. In fact, we sit as a rather crimson-purple party, teetering majestically on the fence of obscurity, whilst at the same time taking a firm yet interchangeable stance on the main issues. What should we do about the EU? Let's play it by ear. The economy? Well, I hear China is quite rich. Immigration? Come on in, but don't stay too long. You see, we have a unique way of delegating and avoiding the main problems of the day, to a degree that even the Conservatives and Labour are envious. Perhaps not the Lib Dems, but we're actively working to change that. After a long and strenuous meeting, we've come up with a slogan which we believe effectively sums up our party. Whatever you want. The political equivalent, if you like, to Burger King's Have It Your Way. We represent what the masses want. As the 1%, we feel we can effectively do this. You see, just like the Whopper, we look very tasty. On the outside, satisfying in fact. But in the inside, we're devoid of nutritional value. And if you stick with us, your health system will inevitably suffer. We use Tony Blair's former government as our primary model. Now, if we have learnt anything over the past few years, it's the coalition government doesn't work. Unless we do not hold a majority, at which point the idea shows real initiative and forward thinking. We as a party commit wholeheartedly to this policy, and we will stick by it. We call it the Nick Model. However, we don't follow this method on every issue. For example, we as a party want to lower student tuition fees. But if we fail, unlike the Lib Dem leader, we won't apologise when we do it, when the whole thing, if you will, goes balls up. The way we look at it, you've done nothing wrong unless you acknowledge it. David Cameron has a similar stance when it comes to the media. Rupert Murdoch has had more backdoor encounters with our current leader than Freddie Mercury at an all-night rave. And yet, he sees the result as a better, more intrusively involved media. One that can break down your back door to make sure you're properly represented. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So why apologise? In conclusion, we at the BS Party come today with open arms, not reaching for the warmth of acceptance, but rather shrugging with a bemused experience, hoping to gauge what you, as people, want, then offering it to you just beyond your grasp. Ultimately, rendering the words emptier than a Stephen Hawking's lecture in Essex. Actually, I hear Obama has had great success with the idea of liberty. If we adopted this as our own goal, would that be appealing to you, average citizen? Thank you.
Which needs a solution. I think it is profoundly misguided. I mean, Nick has talked, not tonight, but has talked about 6...
Oh my God!
Hello everyone, I'm Francesca. Welcome to a new week of Mail Anonymous. Let's just say our slogan wants to reinforce the feeling, why don't we? Women are equals. Right. Would you like to start?
Hi everyone, I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve.
And unfortunately earlier today I left a drink off a coaster.
Right. Thanks for that, Steve.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob, but my friends call me Matthew.
Makes sense.
So I've been a man for 20 years now, or 19, nearly 20, and I often do leave the toilet seat up on a regular basis.
Hi, I'm Simon. I asked my wife the other day to make me a sandwich, egg mayo and cress. Can I have an egg mayo and cress sandwich, please?
Can you fuck?
Hi everyone, I'm Bob.
Hi Bob.
I've really tried over the years to kind of try and prove myself as a man. I used to see myself as quite a sexist person. I'm really trying to keep it up, you know.
Well, okay. That's great, okay.
Hi everybody, I'm Pete.
Hi, Pete.
And I slap my wife on a daily basis.
Leeds Met, home of the Met student. These rather rare students are in the library. Many will never come here. A solitary creature. We find this one at the waterhole. He does not know when his next drink will be, so he indulges plentifully. Now, his attention turns to food. There are many foodstuffs on offer, but which one to choose proves a difficult decision. Got it. But first, he must work the machine. It's only pocket change, but is it enough? No. A lifeline. He attempts to withdraw money. Four digits separate him from success. But it proves 4 digits too many. This Met student will have to go hungry a little longer. With no food in his territory, he must travel further afield. But the roads are a treacherous place for a Met student. It will take all his street smarts to cross the road. On this occasion, he's lucky. Finally, a meal is in sight. He is cautious to enter, but the allure of food proves too much. He waits patiently. At last, sustenance. But he cannot be off his guard. Others lurk nearby. But what's this? An opportunity. He scavenges. Who knows when he'll eat again? There's no time for manners for a hungry Met student. Ever watchful, he must remain vigilant. But this Met student is still hungry. Discarded food cannot go to waste. A solitary phone box. But this Met student uses it for other needs. The release has been long awaited. And so the Met student concludes his journey in rather unfamiliar territory. He observes this new environment with awe. Maybe here he can achieve his next goal of finding a mate. He likes it here. But will he be accepted?
Well, there you go.
That was brilliant.
That was the first
amazing.
episode of In Other News. Hopefully we'll be able to bring it to you every week.
We will definitely.
I hope so. I mean, we've got tons of cool sketches for that.
I particularly enjoyed Met Kid on Campus.
I thought it was good. It was a great job. Props to Johnny for
Great
the editing there.
actors.
It's fantastic. Yes, but moving swiftly on from other news, we're going into further entertainment.
On Campus. On Campus is coming up next.
That's coming up in about 30 seconds. But in the meantime, entertainment on campus, we ask questions. That's what we do. What would be, in your opinion, is the perfect question to ask someone around the Leeds Uni?
Ooh, you're asking the wrong person. I'm not good on the spot.
You're not good on the spot? See, I think the perfect question would be, what's the perfect question?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, because that's like a question within a question. That's like questception.
Oh, mind blown. Mind blown.
That's what I like to think of it as. But Enter's coming up right now. Stay tuned.
Welcome to this week's On Campus. I'm Carl.
And I'm Olivia.
And this week we've got some great shows coming up for you.
And we're in our house.
It's a great house.
It's a bit small.
A little bit small. Maybe we're too big.
We never had the designs wrong. But first up is a documentary about my dog, Kiri. I'm Olivia and this is my dog, Kiri. Just look at the camera. She's special mainly because I own her, but if you just look at her fur, it's so sleek and nice, and she can dance as well, which not many, well, a few dogs can do it. Like, you might have seen Ashley and Pudsey, but really they're not very good. If you watch my dog dance, then you'd realise how terrible they really are. She agrees. Oh, well, she taught herself mainly. I'd just walk into the room and she'd be dancing around on her back legs. I didn't think dogs could do that, but she can. I could show you, but she doesn't do it when people are watching, so that won't really work. But otherwise, we just come here because it's a nice circular area. There's benches she can jump on, and she likes that. She likes to dance. Well, actually, I only met her yesterday, but we've been practicing since then, and she's really good. Like, I found her on the street. She was tied to a lamppost, but no one else is taking her, so I just took her off. Now she's mine. I'm her inspiration. We've always danced together, and I used to dance in the living room, walking around on my legs, which is what people do. If you look, she's actually got a bit of a magic tail. Like, when it's fully up, it looks like a skunk's...
That's my dog! That's my dog!
Well,
Denise, calm down! Denise, calm down!
Kiri, see? She's mine.
It's my dog.
How is she your dog?
I left her on the lamppost. I tied her to a lamppost.
Who ties the dog to a lamppost?
I went in to get a bottle of milk, that was all. Where did you get my dog from? Denise! Denise!
She's my
Come
dog.
on, Denise.
Well, we'll see who the real owner is then, won't we?
How?
You go over there, and I'll go over there, and we'll call her.
Fine.
I'm sorry about that. She's just such a beautiful dog that people like to pretend that she's hers. I mean, I've known her for a day and you can tell how much she loves me. So I'm going to show you one of our favourite tricks. She's going to sit like a person. Okay, up. Up. No. Up. Turn. Sit. Shape pose. Shape pose. Shape pose. No, sit. You're a person. Sit. Paul? Oh, hello. What's your name? Oh, like, we do an interview situation. She sits on the chair and we shake hands and we pretend to do an interview and she talks to me. She's very clever. Okay. Sit. Sit. Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Shape pause. Shape pause. Shape pause. That's nice. So, how's your day been? Oh, interesting. Who was that strange man? She doesn't know who he was. Good girl. You can go now. I'm going to show you our world famous dance routine now. We only developed it obviously this morning because I met her yesterday, but it's going well, so we'll just see how it goes.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pussycat, pussycat, I've got flowers and lots of hours to spend with you. So go and butter your cute little pussycat nose. Pussycat, pussycat, I love you. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So that didn't go according to plan. She's not the dog I thought she was. I think I need a tetanus jab. I might put her back on the lamppost.
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hello!
You knocked.
Next up is Amplified.
Hello and welcome to Amplified. Coming up this week, we've got the penultimate artist in the Leeds Live Lounge, Josh Davis, playing at the Library Pub.
Music style, I'd probably say it's dark acoustic.
And I carry my heart like it's made of stone. Then you're only a stone's throw away. Then you're only a stone's throw away.
Probably anything Justin Vernon has ever recorded. It's pretty unbelievable. I went and saw Matt Corby last night. He's pretty good. And then sort of when I was younger, I was into like the Clash and the Jams and stuff like that. So it's kind of all stemmed from that. I'd say. I try not to specifically write songs about anything in particular. Just kind of stuff that sounds nice. There's kind of, I guess there's kind of little snippets of stuff in there which is relevant, but I don't know, they tend to follow a theme rather than have a specific theme. bought a guitar when I was like 14, so my friend had one. I thought it was really cool. I've been playing ever since. In the future, I don't know, if I'm really lucky, I guess I could end up doing music as something in the future. Just play live as much as you can, don't turn down anything, even if it's playing in a little broom cupboard to like 2 people, just play as much as you can. I've got a SoundCloud page, which is soundcloud.com/JoshDaviesMusic. It's about it at the moment, it's not very media friendly.
I'm coming in a little blind. If the shadows on the wall might come out the door, then while the city sleeps, carve our names in this concrete. But stay one step away. While I swim against the tide, you're standing on the shore. Watch the fire burn out, you never made a sound. It's like you found the love you saw, then you feel what you found. call you mine.
Next up, we've got music news with Ella.
Scottish band Biffy Clyro are the latest headline act to be announced to headline Leeds and Reading Festival this summer. Beyoncé wowed American football fans at the Super Bowl earlier this week and confessed that she was so proud to have been chosen. And finally, Kanye West is set to collaborate with Florence and the Machine and Beyoncé on his new album.
And coming up finally, we've got the chart update with our very own head of news, Andy Seddon.
Hello and welcome along to the on-campus amplified chart update. It's a running chart kicking off with number 5, Rihanna and Stay featuring Mickey Echo. It's down 1, as is number 4, down 1. That is Taylor Swift and I Knew You Were Trouble. Also down 1 this week is will.i.am's Scream and Shout. That's at number 3, featuring the one, the only, Britney Spears. Number 2 there is Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, up 22 from the previous week, and that is called Thrift Shop, featuring Wands. And at number 1, it's a non-mover, Bingo Players with Get Up Rattle, featuring the Far East Movement. That is the Amplified official running chart.
That's it for this week. Keep it locked, keep it loud, keep it amplified.
Well, that was music to my ears.
Next up, to celebrate the Oscars, we have a new film review show.
Hello and welcome to LSTV's Oscar Watch 2013. This year we've decided to do a review show of all of the nominees for Best Picture. The first film we're going to be reviewing this week is Les Miserables. Tom Hooper is the director. Cameron McIntosh, the original producer of The West End, was also involved in the filming. There's a stunning cast featuring people like Hugh Jackman, up for Best Male this year, and Anne Hathaway, up for Best Supporting Actress. Let's have a look at the trailer.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, and hope was high, life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night, with their voices soft as thunder. I had a dream my life would be so different from this hell I'm living, so different now from what it seemed. Oh, life has killed a dream I dreamed.
Hello, and we are here on the red carpet with Bryony, who will be helping us review Les Miserables. So, Anne Hathaway's performance was absolutely stunning. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. There's nothing about it. To play something so with so much suffering, it's outstanding. Just so realistic.
And do you think that it was controversial that she's up for Best Supporting Actress when she only played such a small part?
Not really. She did an amazing job.
Okay, and one important part was that obviously the musical element was brought into it. Do you think that was done well?
Outstanding, really. As a fan of the book and a fan of the musical for so long, they've done such a good job of it. They didn't cut out that much.
And I think the way that they repeated I Dreamed a Dream throughout the movie really lifted the spirit of it. Do you agree with this?
Yeah, definitely. It's such a well-known song as well. Sadly, because Subo did it, it shouldn't be like that. It should be because it's such a good song. But it helps people engage with it because they know it, they're familiar with it, even if they've never seen it before.
And do you think it's worth an Oscar for 2013?
Yeah, definitely. Should get them all.
Brilliant. Thank you. The second
second film we will be reviewing this week is Django Unchained. Quentin Tarantino's newest film stars Jamie Foxx as the slave who manages to get his freedom and joins forces with a bounty hunter in order to help save his wife and kill the bad guys. Let's have a look at the trailer.
There ain't no grave can hold my body down. There ain't no grave can hold my body down.
Good cold evening, gentlemen. Amongst your inventory, I've been led to believe is a specimen I'm keen to acquire.
When I hear the trumpet sound,
What's your name?
I'm gonna rise right out of the ground.
Django. Then you're exactly the one I'm looking for.
Hey, stop talking to him.
Calm down. I'm simply a customer trying to conduct a transaction.
Last chance, fancy pants.
Oh, very well. Do you know what a bounty hunter is?
You kill people, and they give you a reward.
Better they are, bigger the reward. I need your help. I'm looking for the Brittle Brothers. However, I don't know what they look like, but you do. Don't you?
They caught my wife, and they sold her, but I don't know who to.
That means we visit every plantation until we find them. Once a final Brittle Brother lies dead in the dust, I agree to give you your freedom. And I'll take you to rescue your wife.
Where are we going?
Yes!
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
How do you like the bounty hunting business?
Kill white folks and they pay you for it? What's not to like? I like the way you die, boy.
He is a rambunctious sword, ain't he?
What's your name?
Django.
The D is silent.
And we are here to review Tarantino's Django with Simon. So, what did you think of his movie overall?
I thought it was absolutely thrilling. It was brilliant. I think some of his best work, certainly his best work since Pulp Fiction, I'd say. I put it up there on a par with, and that's a big shout from me because that's in my top 10 films of all time.
So, does that mean Django is in your top 10 films of all time?
It might just sneak in, you know. There's a few, I won't list them all because that'll take ages, and I truly don't even know them. So, but yeah, it'll be up there.
Now, many people believe that Tarantino's movies are made for intellectually inept. What do you think about this?
Well, I would certainly consider myself an intellectual, and I think he's genius.
Okay, and how do you rate Jamie Foxx's performance?
I thought he was very good. It was a solid performance, but I think there was certainly some of the supporting actors overshadowed him. In Samuel Jackson, in particular, thought he was absolutely brilliant. DiCaprio, I'm a big DiCaprio fan. It's good to see him finally play a villain, and of course Christoph Waltz. He's great at that sinister yet he could be your best friend role.
And do you think it goes too far with the violence in Django?
I don't think it goes too far. I think that's the whole part of the appeal. I mean, if you want to go and watch a U or a PG film, you wouldn't go and see a Tarantino film, would you? And at the end of the day, it's done in a comic style, and I know there's some scenes that could be a bit hard to watch, but I think it reflects the times, and I think that's what Tarantino's done well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Simon.
No problem.
Thank you very much for watching LSTV's Oscar Watch 2013. Join us next week where we'll be reviewing The Silver Linings Playbook and Life of Pi. See you then.
Next up, we have a very exciting programme with Oscar-winning producer Gareth Unwin.
How exciting.
I'm with Academy Award-winning producer Gareth Unwin, who won the award for The King's Speech, and he's here to talk about his new film, Zaytoon. Zaytoon.
A great deal. You promised to get me in.
So, can you explain to us a little bit about the film?
Zaytoon is the story of an Israeli fighter pilot, played by Stephen Dorff, called Yoni, and he's forced to eject whilst over enemy lines, and he's captured by the PLO, and the PLO put him into captivity where he, as part of the group that are looking after him, he comes to meet this group of Palestinian kids, one of which he forms a very close bond with, and through this slightly strange promise, finds himself being released from captivity, but on the basis that he's going to go with young Farhed, the Palestinian kid, back over the border into Israel and onto the kid's ancestral home, which he's never visited.
And how did the idea of the film first come about?
Well, I was pitched the script when I was at the Dubai Film Festival in 2010. I was there with the King's Speech, and Colin Firth was having this tribute, and so they wanted one of the producers to go along, and I agreed to go. I'd never visited Dubai. And the lady who had organised my flight and accommodation on the last night of the festival said, "Look, I hope you don't mind, but my cousin has just written his first screenplay. He's an engineer from Miami, he's in his 50s, he's never done it before. Would you meet him?" And I sort of considered this for a few minutes and thought, what the hell, why not? Expecting it not to go very well and just be a very sort of pleasant chance encounter, and anyway, but to cut a very long story short, Nader pitched me this wonderful film that was obviously very personal to him. He has a connection to the region, and I said that if the script is as good as the pitch, then we'll have a look at it. And we got the copy of the script. It took me an age to read it, but when I finally got to it, I realised that it was a very, very good piece of writing. And at that point we said that we'd like to try and help him and the other producer, Fred, and Iran make it reality.
And what did you do in terms of researching about the film?
Personally, I had opportunities to work for the BBC in Israel in 2005, so I knew a little of the region. I knew some of its complexities, some of its religious differing viewpoints, some of its political differing viewpoints. I did look into this particular time period where our story plays out, which is 82 in Lebanon.
Now, you've won an Academy Award for The King's Speech back in 2011. We have it here.
There you go. Well, that's covering up your questions there.
Right.
That's your interview screwed up.
I don't care, I'm holding an Oscar. So how did it feel?
Heavy.
Winning an Oscar.
Heavy.
It is heavy.
Yeah.
It's a lot heavier than I imagined it to be.
It was. Are we okay with this?
I think
is it
we're
going to be
all
alright, or I'll just speak up like this. No, it's an amazing. It's an amazing experience. The whole run up to the awards is you're under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of sort of focus on what you're doing and how you're campaigning. But I'll always remember the night we picked it up. It was actually Steven Spielberg that gave it to me, so that has its own sort of personal sense of accomplishment. I mean, I loved his films as I was growing up. He's one of the directors I really, really enjoyed watching his films, so that was pretty cool. And then a night of some rather amazing parties. That's what I remember.
bet. I can imagine. So, just briefly, how did you get where you are today?
Gosh, here we go. So I left school at 16 with a sort of fairly modest array of GCSEs. Didn't feel that sort of the next level of education was right for me at the time, so I went and I had a Saturday job where I worked in a sports shop, did that for a couple of years, but I'd always had an interest in film. I actually grew up quite near Pinewood Studios, and so whenever I had any holiday time or weekend time, I'd go and work at the studios. Cut to a couple of years later, decided that I wanted to do a bit more in terms of my sort of career path, and decided to apply to go back into further education. I did 2 BTEC courses. I did a national diploma and then a HND at Ravensbourne, and then from Ravensbourne I started at the bottom and worked my way up. I came the route of the assistant directors, so I was a floor runner, then a third AD, then a second AD, then a first AD, then was a production manager, line producer, and actually only started producing films 6 years ago, and The King's Speech was the second one that I'd done.
Amazing. And then finally, what would you say to students and other people thinking of getting into this industry as a career? What would you say to them as sort of advice?
Advice, I think, learn to take the knocks. It's a very difficult industry to get into, and, sometimes the best things in life come to those that are the most patient and the hard-working. You know, build your contacts. I would also say any opportunity you have in whatever associated field, you know, work on being able to prove to someone that you really have the appetite to excel. So, you know, I've got friends that wanted to be sound engineers and they went and worked at hospital radio at the weekends. I had friends that wanted to be journalists, so they would go and work in the newsrooms of the local newspaper. So whenever those opportunities present themselves, to just do that little bit extra more that maybe is going to mark your CV out over and above the other 100 that we're looking at when we get these sort of applications is an important thing. The other thing that as I mentioned in tonight's Q&A, it's having an appropriate sense of contact and, you know, realising that it's a tough industry to break into and that people are very busy, and it's about sort of cultivating a way where you're going to be able to sort of stand that little bit higher than those others that are going for the same job. And ultimately it just, you know, it comes down to hard work and perseverance. Those that get there very, very quickly aren't as likely to stay there as long, and those that have been prepared to put the hours in and the time and miss the holidays and go and do those extra bits and pieces are those that will have, I would imagine, a much longer career.
Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit and talk to you and watch your amazing film and learn about all the production and what it takes to be a producer. And I have to say, I never thought I'd be holding one of these.
Hi, I'm Gareth Unwin. I'm the producer of The King's Speech, for which I won this Academy Award, and you're watching LSTV.
And finally, it's the on-campus question.
Hello, you're watching On Campus Question with me, Kerry Moore, and this week it has been known that Richard III has been discovered under a car park. So for On Campus Question this week, we're asking, if you could bring a celebrity back to life, who would you choose? Let's go. Have you heard this week that Richard III was discovered under the car park? I feel like I'm opposing to you slightly here. If you could bring back a celebrity from the dead, who would it be?
Elvis or Don.
Elvis, because he's a dog?
Don.
Don.
Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thank you. I've not heard of that adjective before, but we're moving on. If you could bring back a celebrity, who would you choose?
I don't know, perhaps Michael Jackson.
Jackson, I said that's a shout. How come?
It's fantastic music. He could perhaps produce some more songs, do more shows.
Yourself?
I'd probably say Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh, nice.
Icon, she's beautiful and just amazing.
Great shout, thank you. Right, if you're unaware, Richard III was discovered under a car park this week. So, if you could bring back a celebrity from the dead, who would it be?
Oh, that's quite hard. I'd have to say a dancer, wouldn't I? Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Why?
Because he's just an inspiration to us dancers, you know. The way he does the moonwalk, the way he carries himself.
Can you do the moonwalk? Will you do it? I would love to see it. Can we see this? Can we get this in? Oh, taking the piss.
You got a reason to live. Can't forget, we only get what we get.
If you could bring back any celebrity from the dead, who would it be?
Oh, Blanche from Coronation Street.
Why?
She's really funny.
Great shout. Blanche from Coronation Street, alright.
You cannot find a friend when you feel your dreams breaking. Just there. You got the music in you. Don't let go. You got the music in you. One dance.
Can it be like royalty? Yeah, I'd bring Elizabeth I. She seemed pretty cool, independent woman.
Great shout. Thank you very much.
Don't let go. I feel the music in you.
Alright. dead?
I don't know.
Anybody? Royalty, celebrity, singer, actor?
I can't even think of anyone who's dead. Who's dead? Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Why Michael Jackson?
Because he was a cool guy.
Thank you very much for your time.
Health insurance.
Great shout, yes, why?
Because he's just lovely in all his films, and he's just awesome. And it's such a shame he's dead.
Pleasure, great shout. What about yourself?
Oh my god, that's really hard.
I'm gonna have to go with Heath Ledger as well. Yeah, definitely. He's just so cool, and he definitely did not go as far as he could have done. Definitely.
Thank you very much. Right, you've been watching On Campus Question with me, Kerry Moore, asking if you could bring back a celebrity, who would you choose? Michael Jackson was a favourite, however, I'm going to back up Heath Ledger.
So, Carl, who would you bring back from the dead?
Probably Queen Victoria.
Why is that?
Well, she's royally good.
Oh, Carl, that wasn't very punny at all.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. So remember,
If it's happening at Leeds University.
it's happening on campus.
Love it. What a pun at the end there. Loving it.
That was brilliant.
That was
brilliant.
fantastic because it has to happen around the university. Because
If it has to be on
it's one or the
campus.
other. Yeah, I love it. That was fantastic. That was ENTS, our weekly show. We have On Campus there. And we're going into more sort of original programming in a second.
Yeah, it's a short film made by our own members of LSTV.
Yeah, Fredo went to town and he filmed this fantastic war documentary, and I'm very, very, very excited to hear it.
It's a film.
It's a film. It's not even a documentary.
It's called Everest, and I heard they tried to run it last week, and that didn't work out.
Yes.
So back again this week with renewed force and energy.
Yeah, it's so true because it's one of those things where you don't want to rush it out there because you want it
You
to
want
be...
to pace yourself.
Yeah, you want it to be perfect and everything. And I think we've waited the appropriate amount of time for it this
Yeah.
time around. And it's going to be fantastic. Speaking of sort of war films, what's your favourite war film?
I'd have to say Gandhi.
Gandhi. Well, there you go. Think about that while Fred's show is on. You are about to watch Everest on LSTV.
Hutchins! Hutchins! Jimmy! Jimmy! Huh?
Keine Bewegung.
Please, 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 please don't shoot. Hände hoch. Oh, okay, okay. Gehen. Don't shoot, please. Move. Move. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'll do what you say, I'll do what you say. Halt. Where are you taking me?
I really
I'm
enjoyed
blown
that.
away.
That was really well made. I'm being sincere. I really, really like that. That was really nice.
I wasn't lying.
Well, that's not what I was saying. But we have come to the end of the show. We really hope that you've enjoyed what we made. Everything sort of self-made here.
It was a lot of things to go through today anyway.
It really was. It was fantastic. I've really enjoyed every aspect of the show. We'll be back next week with...
Same time.
Same time, same place with different presenters.
Ooh, that's going to be sad.
Well, I think the question everyone's lips are is, have you enjoyed?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks to you.
Thanks to me. Oh, there you go. I thought it was great. I think it's really been a really great show. I reckon we've started 2013 off with a great bang. I'm not sure if you saw last week's show, another fantastic show, and I'm sure next week everyone involved will make this easily the best student television channel in the world. But we're being told that we're quickly running out of time, so all that's left to do is thank you guys, the viewers, tuning in every week. We will see you next week, and from LSTV, this is goodbye.